guys, welcome back to an all-new episode of R&D Garage. I want to give a warm welcome to all my new subscribers. Maybe you've subscribed because I keep posting shorts, and well, at any rate, I'm glad you're here. And of course, to everybody that's been following since the beginning, joined along the way, thank you. Okay, so today we are back on Grandpa Truck. 1969 Ford F-250 Camper Special for all you newbies out there. This truck is immaculate and it's pretty much all original, almost perfect. But as you remember our last video, we had some trouble with the manifold cracking. So today we finally have new manifolds, we have new gaskets, and we're gonna get it done. So come along with me for the ride, it's gonna be fun. Okay guys, so here are the parts we're going to be using right now. We have these utterly gorgeous copper gaskets by SCE. Just love that sheen. These are going to be so amazing in Grandpa Truck. And now you might be wondering, because you know I always like to be buy new bolts, buy new bolts. These bolts are actually all original. We figure they're only about 22,000 miles old, so they're still in really, really good shape. However, we did replace all the washers with brand new ones. And lastly, we have lock nuts. So these again are brand new. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so now we have our brand new manifold for one side. So what you want to do with this as soon as it arrives is get a real straight edge. I'm not talking about a ruler or anything a little bit flimsy. Get a real steel straight edge. And what you're going to do is come over here and make sure the surface where the gasket's going to lie is perfectly level and perfectly flat, like there's no gaps anywhere. Because if there's any gaps, well, I mean, you know the answer to that, it's not gonna seal. So this looks really, really good. What you also wanna do is go to the head side and do the same thing. Now, if there's gapping on the head, it's a little bit more, well, I mean, it's not as much fun because you're gonna have to pull the head, get it machined, so on and so forth, kind of sucks. So we already measured it, or we already used the straight edge on that, and it looks good. Okay, once you're done with the straight edge, go ahead and put a little bit of motor oil on it just to kind of give it that sheen, and so yours won't rust like mine already kind of did. Oops. Okay, let's move on. So as a side note, never be afraid to use a friend or another mechanic as for like a two-person job. For this, you know, I'm smaller framed, the manifolds are extremely heavy, and also you don't want to damage the copper gaskets. They are super soft, they are not scratch resistant at all, and you just don't want to screw around with them. So for this, don't ever be afraid to ask for someone's help. Yeah, that's basically where I'm going with that. Okay, just as a trick of the trade, use a couple longer bolts. They're not going to be staying in there. Don't worry, we'll be using the proper bolts. But on each corner, if you use a longer bolt while you're first fitting on the copper gasket, maybe one on each end here, it'll be a lot easier by the time you have to take it to the truck and try to fit it all together. Because sometimes when you use a smaller bolt, it doesn't seem like there's enough room at the top to actually hold it on. So again, if you use two longer bolts, one at each side, it'll be a lot easier. Okay, so now we're ready to put on the copper gasket. A couple tips when it comes to this. You see how they have notches down here? The notches face down. So basically you're gonna have the bolts in, and then this is gonna slide right down, catch on the bolts, and hopefully stay. And another thing, you'll notice that this is popped out. So if you turn it over, it's like a little indent on the inside there, like an outline or something. Anyway, you want the indents facing down on the manifold. So let's go ahead and throw this on. So I'm gonna scoop it over like this. And this may be kind of hard to see, but basically what we're gonna do is just, and obviously it's copper, so you have to be careful, but it basically slides down just like that. Whew, moving on. I don't know about you guys, but I think we need a poly break just for a couple seconds. We had a very good day today. We went to lunch. I know it's Super Bowl Sunday, so it was totally empty, and then we went for a walk. And so for the most part, he's being very, very quiet and good. Sorry, I know some of you think that's really gross to kiss a dog, but he's my Polly, I don't care. Okay, back to work. Okay guys, so you can see my copper gasket is on the manifold. The manifold itself is being held on by two bolts on the bottom. So those are the only bolts involved right now. Okay guys, well I already have the first bolt in there kind of holding everything together, plus the two from underneath. And now I'm going to go ahead and put on these two. So you'll notice I already put on the AntiSeize. Very important, do not forget this, because in a few years, if we had forgotten, they'd seize up and it would be traumatizing to pull them back out. So we're just going to leave it there. So these are going to go in position 1 and 2. And you'll notice that these have a little bit of thread coming out the bottom. This is because this basically is going in where the heat shield is. And so that's why they have a little bit more room. And also one more thing about AntiSeize. I know you probably don't work in like good clothes or whatever, but this stuff, I mean, it's hard enough to wash off your hands, but get it on your clothes, it's staying there forever. Okay, let's go ahead and put these on. And so obviously AntiSeize up first. Or that's the side that's going. And so I'm not going to put it in fully all the way because I like to kind of stagger them. So this goes in the second hole here. And there we go. Speaking about AntiSeize getting everywhere, I probably should have worn gloves, but oh well. Okay, so these are now in. Let's move on to some more bolts. Hey guys, what I have here is the crossover pipe. Now, don't forget to replace your exhaust donuts, but again, this is centered metal, so you don't want to bang on it too hard or you'll fracture it. And that's all that needs to be said. Ooh. Okay, so after you've got your manifold torque down to spec, which is 20 foot-pounds, and preferably do it in this kind of crisscross way, where you start in the middle and then go out. So I kind of go like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And now this is how the donut part comes together. So yeah, I mean, it's not the hardest thing in the world, but it's going to be a little dirty and a little frustrating because things are hard to reach in the Ford. But again, this is how it goes together. So the great part about using copper gaskets is you really don't need to go back in and retorque after driving it for a while because the copper is metal. And so it's already pretty much as stuck as it's going to get. So this is great. I mean, if you want to, you can maybe just do it once over, but it's really not necessary. And also, be prepared for a lot of smells coming up with the donut down there, with the manifold, with just basically everything. Everything you just put together is new to your old beast. And so you're going to smell a ton of smells. But again, don't even worry about it. It's perfectly normal. Okay guys, well this side's fully complete. We're about to throw on the rest on that side off camera, but at this rate, everything looks good. We're gonna go ahead and upload a whole bunch of pictures so you can see the finished product. I know we didn't show a whole lot of me working on the car just because it's like crazy camera angles, everything's a little bit heavy, and Dee is feeling a little camera shy today. So there's that. But, you know, we've got you. If you have any questions, you know, you can always ask me. Again, hit that subscribe button because we got so much cool stuff coming up. Race season starts in like tomorrow. Well, maybe like 3 weeks, but basically tomorrow. So we're still prepping the hatchie to go. But above all, we're kind of in a good place right now. So you guys have a wonderful Super Bowl Sunday. I hope your favorite team wins. Frankly, I don't watch football, but hopefully I don't lose any subscribers over that. That's why I'm here. So anyway, have a great Sunday again and take care, and we'll have more videos next week.